Hi everyone, it's Lutin and we're back with another PixelJunk Shooter episode. And I've got a couple of topics today because this is a slightly longer video. The reason being that this is a boss episode. This is the last section of the ice map, and ice section even, I guess I should say. Probably a bad plan to crush through the giant fire lasers there, but we'll see. Look at this, awesome tool by the way, burns straight through the ice. Awesome, awesome stuff. Love this game, love the dynamics mechanics of this game, and look, it's got like a freezing element as well. You see how the ice that's connected to the water is starting to refreeze. Such a clever system in this game. Right, so yeah, as usual, I'll have a combination of topic and gameplay to go through, which I always do with these series if you haven't seen them already before. We're coming up, as I say, towards the end. Probably going to be worth triggering those bombs because I reckon there's probably something hidden up there. I'm reckoning a gem. Sure enough, there is. Okay, so, whoa, don't get frozen in the ice already. My topics for today are, twofold. And the first topic is about editorial criticism. These guys, look at them burrowing and freezing the ice. It's a pain, that is. You see, I should have shot that rock quicker, because I bet you there's a gem in there. I'll have to come back and complete that at a later date, I think. Anyway, so editorial criticism was the first real topic. Now, there's this, there's various reasons. Lately, I have had reason to often look at different commentators and different topics and want to critique or comment on them. The problem is that within YouTube, as soon as you make a comment about another YouTube producer, if it's in any negative context whatsoever, people do two things. First of all, they hate you for hating other people, so they just write you. And the second thing is, they write you off as a hater. They kind of automatically, they don't listen to what you say, they invalidate your opinion. They just go, oh, you're just a hater. It doesn't matter what you've got to say, they just don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear that stuff. Now, regardless of whether or not this is actually something to change, I'm not really that fussed by, because if that's how people are and that's how people interact, it's the same way that, we've had different people have had issues with Reddit and the communities there and stuff. At the end of the day, there's different communities and people handle things in different ways, and people go to different places for different things. Some people don't want to hear that stuff. However, my sort of argument towards it is that with my channel and my videos and my general content, something I've always tried to do is I've tried to build an editorial opinion. I've tried to be objective when I talk about things, and I've tried to actually provide opinion. Now, there is a real reason for this, and that's that if the only stuff that you provide is always like positive, and you don't ever critique things in a negative way, or, negativity isn't always bad. You shouldn't look on negativity as just being for the sake of it. And this is the problem. And this also comes back to other things, right? Stuff like trolling. Now, people always say, oh yeah, it's just a bit of fun, They always just say, there's no harm in it. People are just, it's a bit of fun. The problem is, you see, there is harm in it. And because it comes back to other things. Because when people are actually trying to make a serious point, but it happens to be not a positive one, then people just write you off. And they go, oh, he's just hating, he's just, or trolling or whatever. They put you into the same box. They just say, oh yeah, he's just saying that because he wants to cause a bit of drama, or he wants to hate on this guy, or whatever. And he's just flaming them, or whatever. They don't listen to what you have to say, because they're putting you into the same box as these people who say it without actually thinking about what they're saying, and causing, these kind of unconstructive negativity. And this is why it's a bad thing, and this is why people really should listen more to what it is people actually are saying, and not simply the context in which they're saying it. Because I find more and more as well that, you only have to look at YouTube videos. Oh dear, I seem to have burned a miner alive. Oh dear. Anyway, more and more, you only have to look when I make a video, okay? I'll make a video, and in the notes, I will clearly give a load of information about this video, and several of my videos lately have done this. Now, I'm really pleased to say that I know a lot of you guys, a lot of my subscribers, do actually read the notes, and I know that because on a couple of these videos you guys have all pointed it out, and you actually were sort of mocking and deriding these people who are asking these straightforward questions and saying, read Lutin's notes, it's in the notes, for God's sake, read them. So I'm glad that you guys have, for the most part, sort of taken that on board. Kill them, kill those ice beasts. Oh God, we're on a time now. We're on a time. No, don't shoot him. He's a friendly. God's sake, me. Oh no! Oh God! It's all going wrong. Anyway, and now things are going to start to freeze. It's a nightmare. I need myself a magma suit, and look, sure enough, there is one. Anyway, so this is the problem. Now, the issue that I have with it as well is that criticizing other people isn't always, it's not a bad thing, and you have an editorial right to do so, because people disagree on things, believe it or not. Like, in the same way that some people disagree with me that Medal of Honor is a bad game, right? And, well, no, not that it's a bad game, actually, that's not correct. Some people disagree with me that it's not worth getting, basically. I don't believe that it's worth getting for all the reasons I stated in my review video the other day. However, so you see, the other thing is, I know producers who will not put forward controversial negative content because they don't want to risk taking on board, they don't want to risk losing subscribers, they don't want to risk having videos with a lot of downvotes, they don't want to risk having videos that don't do well and make their channel look bad. Now, I have regularly put up topics that I think are relevant and important, regardless of I knew when I posted the Medal of Honor video, I knew that it would get a lot of downvotes and that it would get a lot of negativity, but I still put it up there. And the reason I still put it up there is because I thought it was an important objective editorial piece that I wanted to give my opinion on. Now, should I not put forward content that I know will do badly or that I know some people will not like, simply for that fact? I don't think so. So I find it strange that then when it comes to the topic of actual other YouTube producers, why people feel so strongly towards this, I really don't see the case. Because at the end of the day, people are entitled to their opinion, right or wrong. Now, again, don't be confused between opinion and free speech, because that's another classic internet thing that people, I've mentioned this the other day recently. I was talking to, who was I talking to? Oh, I think it was on my Unplugged video. I was talking to Level Cap and the guys, Decrypt Colin, etc. And we mentioned on free speech. People have this big thing online about free speech where they think that it gives them the right to say literally anything they please. Yeah, that's kind of ignorant and stupid. They don't really kind of understand what it is, clearly. But anyway, the point is that you do have the right to have an opinion on other things, other people, and the work they put out there. Now, a couple of good examples would be, for example, reviewing things like film, theatre, books, or also I have seen, for example, articles in newspapers and so on. Often you'll get journalists working for the same newspaper will actually criticise and critique other journalists' pieces who are working for that same paper. I see this all the time, often with a couple. I often, when I'm going to work and stuff, I will read a few newspapers throughout the week. I get stuff on, and I also obviously read online, and you get the same thing online. You get different. I throughout the week, I regularly read, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 different. Oh, that's clever. Look, we can adjust the little thingy here, the little mirror, to direct our laser beam so that we can accurately get through and rescue our man here. Anyway, yeah, so basically I read a lot of content, and yeah, you find regularly, okay, throughout a variety of sources, that other journalists will critique each other. And they can often do this in a very, very strict and sort of direct way. They don't. What I'm saying is they don't mess around. They will literally take someone's article or topic that they wrote the day before and say, this person wrote this topic and it's a load of crap. And then they go on to list why it's really bad and why you shouldn't agree with what that person has written. Now, I can fully understand that if someone criticizes another YouTube producer, and all they say is like, oh yeah, this guy, he's so stupid, look what he wrote, he's just like an idiot, and I hate what he has to say, and I like this game, so I think he's rubbish. If somebody says something like that, then yeah, obviously you don't have to listen to what they say, but again, they still have the ability to put that opinion forward, and the fact that their argument is so poor and flimsy, it just means that anyone that hears that argument is going to basically deride it and just go, yeah, that's really stupid, and they will get negativity for it. However, I have seen, and I watched this week, several videos where there were YouTubers criticising other videos made by other people, and their arguments were very sound and very well put, and they broke down the pieces exactly, and they made a lot of sense. I honestly don't see the issue with making videos like that. I really don't. And I think it's something people need to get over, because if YouTube is going to become a more rounded medium, I think people need to get past this thing and allow people to have an opinion without doing two things, without writing it off and without also writing it off as being drama. So people need to get past this, they really do. And I would really like to hear what people think about this, bearing in mind the things that I've already said. So not what you thought the other day, but bearing in mind what I've talked about here this evening. So that was one of my main topics, really, and I really would like to see it as a change, because I don't see anything wrong with, and this is the other thing, is like, it doesn't mean that, oh, Luton, are you going to go on, oh, Paolo, long before we got here, there was a civilization in these caves. I've been able to study their writings, as we thought they were intelligent and peaceful, but there's more. They were scared. All throughout their writings are descriptions of some giant being they dared not disturb. It seems that when it awoke, this entire population was wiped out almost instantaneously. The later transcriptions are terrifying. I think that's what it said. I was trying to go from memory there. Anyway, so yes, interested to hear what you guys think. But also, as I say, does this mean, Luton, you're going to go on a rampage of hate and negativity? No, absolutely not. It just means that if I really take issue with a video or something someone has said, then you should have the ability, and you shouldn't feel scared. This is the point as well. Like, as a producer, you just think, oh god, I can't say anything against this person, because then everyone's going to get really vindictive and they're going to make a point. And this is the thing, I've had regular conversations. You guys know that I talk and I work with, I don't know, between 10 and 15 quite well established sort of YouTube producers within the field of gaming, okay, and other people as well on top. You don't even know the amount of conversations I've had with some of these guys where we have had quite difficult topics about the game or other YouTube producers, and people have ended up saying, you know what, we really want to make this vid because we want to tell people these things, but we just can't. It's more trouble than it's worth. Oh god, come on, don't die. Yeah, they've said because it's more trouble than it's worth, because they know that the amount of stupid animosity that they will get back from people watching the video, who will literally judge it on the fact that they've made a slightly negative video, far outweighs the actual value of what it is that they're saying, and this is something that is extremely frustrating. Another point is, if I can bring up another video that I uploaded, I also uploaded a video quite a while back, and in that video I showed myself kicking my team, not the enemy team. Now, people often have a problem with moderators removing a team on the other side when they're doing badly. So basically the case will be that they'll be in a game, they start to lose the round, and they get pissed off with the enemy, so they kick them all out so that they don't lose the round or whatever. Or maybe there's a few guys who have been really constantly getting in their face. Anyway, I had a round where my team were so unobservant that it took them 2 minutes, I think, to react to the fact that actually the enemy they'd been spawn camping them the whole round. It took them 2 minutes to realise that a team of like a couple of guys had flanked us, capped a base, and then were starting to take all the bases in turn from behind. Our guys were so busy spawn cap. Wait, whoa, no, god damn it, what are you doing? Oh my god, I swear I'm so stupid at this game. Why did I do that? It was so obvious that guy was going to die. Oh, I'm an idiot. Anyway, So in that video, again, I knew that this video was going to get negativity. Of course. Because it's a video showing me removing people from one of my games as a moderator. Now, like what whether you agree or disagree with what I actually did in the game or not, and I have to say, I was very pleased. If you actually see the video, the amount of likes to dislikes generally towards my favour. So I think a lot of people approve about what I did in that game, because for sure, yeah, if it was like a small thing, like if you come on, oh yeah, look at those lightning pickup skills. If it was in a situation where we could have turned it around very easily, or for example, okay, if they sort of had been watching what was happening and then they were like, oh, we're getting capped, we better run back, and it took them a small amount of time to respond. It wasn't, okay, it took them ages to realise. It was so stupid, and I was like, screw this, I don't care if we lose a round. I'm not prepared to play with people who can't even be aware of the most basic things in the game. So that was the key point there, and I say a lot of people seem to sort of support that. But this is the point that I'm getting at, is that whether you agree or disagree, I posted that video knowing that it would gain negative attraction, because I know that people hate that kind of thing. They don't like moderators who take things into their own hands like this. So I knew it would gather a lot of negativity. Should I then not post the video simply because I know that this is going to be the case? No. I posted that video because I thought it was an important video that I thought was interesting. Okay, I think it raised an important topic of, where do you draw the line when it comes to, people that you're playing with and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, and also the other thing is, like, people go, oh my god, you're like the worst moderator, blah blah blah. Again, they're making off the hand comments that they know nothing about. Okay, any person that plays on my server, or which I have to say is not running now, but it will be soon for Aftermath. I'm going to pay and get another server for Aftermath, and then after that I'm going to decide whether I actually want to have it again. But anyway, anybody who actually knows or who's actually played on my server will know that I am probably one of the fairest moderators that you'll find. Okay, for the most part, I don't ban any weapons. I don't have any real strong rules about anything. The only time I would ever remove people from the game would be to balance the teams up. So if one team is so strongly imbalanced, I'll move people over. And the other thing is, people say, oh well, how do you know? I've missed a trick here, haven't I? I probably should have hit that little thing there before it got iced over. Anyway, we're getting too much into the server thing here, but long story short, I'm a fair moderator, and people often say that on my server they've had the best games that they've ever played in Battlefield because of that, because I make sure that I try to balance the teams up, and I make sure we don't get a load of crap from random people coming in and causing big problems, or say teams that are just so unaware. You try to balance it up a little bit. So the basic crux of the issue here, as I say, here we go, now I've figured out the game, the basic crux of the issue here is, do you think YouTube moderators should be able to comment on other YouTube moderators even if it's a negative point? And if so, can you go further with that? Like, how would you do that in a way that would allow people to know that you were genuinely making a good point and not just flaming hating? It's a difficult one, and I don't know even whether I want to get into it yet, because, as I say, there is so much random hate from players and subscribers who just don't even want to hear it. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. I respect that, in a way I do. I know that people come to watch fun videos, they come to watch about topics, they're not interested in those kind of things. But I think that from time to time there's some things that you need to say, some topics that you want to discuss, and it's worth mentioning. Okay, we're coming up to the end of this one actually, and I really talked about the whole this topic of opinion and criticism a little bit more than I wanted to, so it didn't give me much chance. So I might go into this further. I'll maybe mention just briefly now. The other topic that I wanted to talk about was actually iPad apps and iPhone apps and games and stuff like this, and what things, what games are good, what work well on it. I'm sure that many people have got iPads or various tablet devices or phones and so on and so on. I mean, everyone's got smartphones now, and there's a huge amount of games that you can get on them. However, most of these games tend to be unbearably simplistic. Okay, for example, Angry Birds. Okay, it's the best one to pick out of the bunch. It's very simple, and the thing is, it's done very well. Okay, but it's not a hard game. It's not a hard game, and they shamelessly push you to buy things in the game. All right, so like even when you're in the game, they have like little big icons at the top, which are very difficult to ignore, which are trying to get you to buy stuff. There's the other games which are like the free-to-play games, and they're kind of weird as well because they're not real true free-to-play games. They're very because free-to-play games often will allow you to kind of do stuff for the most part, and then have like a buying element, which means that you can still play the game to a very good extent without actually having to buy anything. However, games on phones and stuff like that where you have to buy things, they tend to make it extremely hard for the most part to play games without buying stuff. I can think of a few examples, but there's other examples of games which are good. There's a couple of games that I really love at the moment. One is called I think it's called Breaker or Icebreaker. It's basically like you fire little balls and you break different ice structures and set off chain reactions and stuff. It's kind of, yeah, you know, it's quite skillful. You have to time your accuracy and all these kind of things and set off the little chain reactions. It's more skillful than a game like Angry. Oh god, this is going wrong. Oh, we've got a break. Yes, there we go. It's more skillful than something like Angry Birds, which Angry Birds is, okay, it takes angles and stuff like that, but it is literally a matter of time and so on and so on. Whereas this other one's got more of a planning element involved. But anyway, I don't know. They all have their own sort of elements. And I guess at the end of the day, Angry Birds, it bugs me a little bit, but it's not the worst game by far and away. The point that I'm getting at, though, is that there are some games which suit these formats much better. Okay, games like Riven, Myst, games like Broken Sword, things like this, puzzle narrative games, okay, story games, these kind of things will suit much better. There's other games, some people may remember the game Discworld. Discworld was very much, again, like Broken Sword. These kind of detective sort of mystery games where you have to pick up puzzles and stuff like that. I say Riven and Myst were good examples of those kind of things where you really have to think and use your brain. But there's a lot of terrible games out there for tablets which tend to involve sort of just running, jumping in a straight line and doing all sorts of very simplistic things. And it's because of the format of using your finger. There's only so much you can actually do with those things. Now we're right at the end here, but that is one topic that I'm going to pick up on another video. I'm probably going to give some examples of gameplay and talk about it in a lot more detail. But I would really love to hear your feedback, mainly on the main topic today about the editorial opinion, criticism. Do you think people should be able to do it as YouTube producers? Do you want to see it? Or do you think it's just something that's negative and it's just you don't want it in the game? Thanks for watching. More stuff coming up soon.